guys, welcome back to my channel, Authentically Nat. I am Natalie. If you are new here, I am Latina, a law student, and a beauty and lifestyle content creator here on YouTube. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Today's video is gonna be about, as you can see by the title, a video of me talking about how I personally practice self-love, what that means to me, and not only like in words what it means to me, but in actions what it means to me. Before we get into this video, I want to say that like the point where I'm at right now is definitely because of experience and age. I think I have gotten to a point where I am comfortable with myself, or more so comfortable with myself versus when I was younger. So I am 26 years old, and I think that that has a lot to do with how comfortable I am with, you know, the idea of self-love, and how I practice it for myself. Because trust and believe, like when I was 19 years old, like it was, my mentality was so different. So I think like, you know, don't feel bad or feel down if it's like, you know, you're struggling, because I think a big part of it has to do with age and just experience. But also I think it's what you do with that age and experience that impacts your understanding and your comfortability with self-love. I have been in therapy for about like 4-ish years now, and I think that that has, well, I know that that has 100% like changed my view on self-love for the better. And so I'm, you know, going to sit down and share with you some of the things I've learned throughout the years, through experience, through therapy, and just through getting older. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I also want to do a quick disclaimer before we start this video that this by no means is any type of formal mental health advice or anything like that. I am not a licensed clinician or any type of licensed therapist or mental health expert at all. I, in this video, just talk about my own personal experiences and some of the things that I have learned in therapy that work for me. But therapy is a very individualized experience that's very unique to each singular person. So this is by no means any type of replacement of that or anything like that. All right, so let's get, you know, settled and cozy. I have my little cafecito here today. Today's cafecito is an iced coffee with like a strawberry syrup creamer that I made. It was so good. So yeah, just, you know, pull up, you know, a pillow, get comfortable, get your snacks ready, and yeah, let's just have a chat, like friend to friend. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna start off with the main question: what is self-love? And you know, I'm going to be discussing like how I perceive it. So if you have a different definition, that is completely okay. So when I think about like what does self-love mean to me, like what is the definition of it, I picture an analogy of like what does it mean to me when I say I love you to somebody? Like, what does it mean for me to love somebody? Um, and like I'm pretending like that, like my inner self is like somebody else, like a friend or somebody else, just kind of like separating myself from it. So it's like, you know, what does it mean to say, what does it mean to me when I say I love you? And for me, like if I'm saying that to a friend or, you know, a loved one or a family member, it means I promise to treat you with respect. I promise to care for you. I promise to care for your well-being. I promise to spend time with you and listen to you and care for your needs, and support you, and, you know, want what's best for you. And that's what it means to me. Like when I say I love somebody, um, you know, I promise to just, you know, treat you with compassion, with respect, all of those things that I just mentioned. Now, applying that logic as if I'm saying that to a friend, that's how I should be treating myself. I should be treating myself with respect, care for my well being, listening to my needs, honoring my boundaries, um, supporting myself in whatever goals that I have, and like helping myself work through those goals. Like that analogy really was a game changer for me, because it's like people used to ask me, like, what does it mean to love yourself? And I'm like, I don't know, I guess just like you love yourself. But I think when you like put it into an analogy, as if like you imagine a person and how you love that person is the same love that you should, if it's a healthy one, is the same love you should be showing to yourself. So, yeah, that's basically how I picture self love. Self love is actions, exact in the same way that, like, when someone tells you they love you, like, words can only go so far. Like, they show you they love you through their actions. That's the way that, as is the same way that it's for yourself. Like, I can tell myself that I love myself, but the way that I prove to myself that I love myself and show myself that I love myself is through the actions that I do every single day for myself. So, um, kind of like the first overarching, like, big um, theme of actions regarding self love for me is how I take care of my physical body. And, I was actually talking about this in therapy, where when you take care of your body, your physical body, it's not just for, I used to be like, oh, it's for aesthetics, or it's to look a certain way, it's to this, it's to that. But when I started to think about it differently, and like, I'm taking care of my physical body like the way a parent would take care of the physical body of a child, is not so that they can look a certain way or fit into societal standards. It's because they love them and they want them to be like well and healthy. And so that's the same logic to like put myself for my physical body. Like, I want to take care of my physical body through actions, not because I want to like fit into this societal standard, but it's because I love myself and I want to take care of myself. I want to take care of my body. And so, yeah, the way that that looks like for me is through like nourishing my body with nutrients, like doing research on like what nutrients my body needs, honoring my hunger cues. I have had a difficult relationship with my physical body, and so just kind of talking out with my therapist, like some of the insecurities I have, and like how to better treat my body, how to have a better relationship with my body. I've also like done some research with like dietitians. There's a lot of really cool dietitians on social media. There's one that I will actually put her information here. Um, and she is just so wonderful. She just literally teaches you how to have a better, healthier relationship with food and things like that. So just like, so I definitely recommend you all check her out. But yeah, just like things like that, like when you really want to show yourself that you love yourself, you're gonna put in the time to like, research what's best, how to best take care of your body, what nutrients you should be putting into your body, physical movement. Sometimes, I don't feel like, going outside and like doing exercise or whatever. And I used to have a really, really difficult relationship with it. Even now, I sometimes do, where it's like, I want to look a certain way and that's why I need to go exercise. But ever since I've started to view it as like, I love myself and I need to like take care of my body and I need to get it outside and moving because that's what it needs to feel good. It just has really changed my perspective and my relationship with exercise and movement, and getting rest. That's another way I show myself love. Like, I really want to watch this TV show or something like that, but I know tomorrow I have things to do and I want my body to be well rested because I want to feel good. So I'm gonna put myself to sleep because I care about myself and I just want what's best for me. Um, so yeah, things like that, like little things you wouldn't think are tied with self-love, they truly, truly are. And it just makes me perceive the relationship I have with myself in a deeper way, and like as if like I am taking care of this like beautiful, worthy of love person, which is myself, and I'm doing that through these actions. Now that we've kind of touched on like the physical body part and like how I show myself love to my physical body, I'm going to move on how I show myself love to my mental space and like my kind of mental part of me, because it's such a big part, and I think something that has like made me really struggle with self-love is um, not having the tools to regulate like my mental self. And again, that's where therapy has helped me so much. Okay, so one of the biggest things that I've learned in therapy, and I have kind of attributed it to self-love, is boundary setting. Boundary setting has honestly changed my life. I grew up in a space and an environment where we were constantly putting others ahead of our own selves. I think to an extent that can be good to like have this perspective and this mindset of like always wanting to help others and like wanting what's best for others and putting yourself at the disposal to help other people. But I think to an extreme, you may start to at that point like dismiss your own needs and like feel selfish when you want to honor a boundary for yourself that may be at the expense of not being able to do something for somebody else. But what I've learned is when you show love to yourself, it's important to understand what your needs are, and it's important to understand that your needs are important and they matter so much. Just like how like you love a friend and like you understand in your soul that it's like that friend's needs are important. I want to help them. I want to make sure they're okay. Like I want to be there for them for whatever they need. That is the same logic that you need to apply to your own self. Like, and think about like, what are my needs? And really internalize and accept my needs are just as important as everybody else's. And with that, with recognizing what your needs are and like listening to your body, physical and mental, you're able to then put into action how to honor those needs. One of the ways to honor needs is to, what that can look like is to lay a boundary and honor that boundary. So, for example, if you know that your need is that you need to get like 8 hours of sleep or whatever, and the day before, like you're hanging out with a friend or something like that and they want to keep hanging out, and yeah, they're like, oh no, come on, let's just go do this like thing, let's just hang out, come on please. But you know that you need to wake up early the next day, and like you need 8 hours of rest to be your best self, and you just know that that's what your body needs. Like a way to honor that need is to put up that boundary and be like, look, I love you and I love hanging out with you, but right now I really need to go home and get some rest because tomorrow I have a busy day. So I'm actually gonna go home now, but I'll see you another time. And that action is you taking care of yourself, honoring your need, honoring your boundary, and showing yourself like, I love you and I'm gonna take care of you. So we're gonna go home now because I know you're tired. Something like that, you know what I mean? And again, it really goes back to the analogy of like, how would you treat, like if you had a child, how would you treat that child? You'd want to like, if they were tired, you'd want them to get rest, things like that. And if that is a genuine friend or whoever you're hanging out with, they're gonna understand. And if they don't, that's okay, but you still need to honor your boundary and you still need to honor that need, because like that's how you show you, that's one of the ways to show yourself self-love, is to know how to take care of yourself. And another example of honoring boundaries is, for example, when you find that you are being mistreated by somebody that you care about. Um, and that could be in the form of a friendship, that can be in the form of a romantic relationship, or any type of interpersonal relationship that you may have. Um, if you see that there are patterns of mistreatment, a way that you show yourself that you love yourself is to tell yourself, I am being mistreated by this person. I have communicated to them that I don't like these specific actions and they keep doing them. So, like, if I'm talking to myself, I'm gonna be saying to myself, like, Natalie, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to be treated that way. As if I'm talking to a small, like, if I had a small child and someone was being mean to my child, I'd be like, hey, bud, like, you don't deserve to be treated that way, you know? And it's important that you put up a boundary. And so if you would say that to your small child, you know, it's important to say that to yourself. Like, that you're showing love to this small child by helping them remove themselves from this, you know, situation where they're being mistreated. And so in the very same way, we need to do that with our own selves. As someone is mistreating us, we need to put up our boundaries. We need to communicate. You know, it's important that we communicate and advocate for ourselves. Hey, I don't like that you're treating me this way. And if they continue to do that, then it's important to take action. And that action within itself, that's kind of like the theme of this video, is like, self-love is really about actions. And if someone is mistreating me repeatedly, what action am I gonna take to take care of myself? One of the actions that I would take is to remove myself from that situation. Of course, after I've communicated with them and they still don't comprehend and don't change their course of their behavior, I'm going to change my behavior and I'm going to remove myself, because I'm going to be telling myself I deserve better. I deserve an authentic, loving relationship with a person where there is mutual respect, mutual consideration for each other's needs, um, things like that. So by walking away from someone who's mistreating you, you're telling yourself, hey, I love you. And so we're gonna get out of this situation because we deserve better. And again, like, that action of walking away, you're internalizing in yourself how much you love yourself. And even though it's hard, it is so hard, honoring those boundaries every single day, like doing that practice of honoring that boundary every single day, is gonna continuously show yourself, I have this pattern of loving myself and I have this pattern of taking care of myself and I know how to do it, and I've been doing it all these days. And you know, it's not going to be perfect. We're going to have slips where we sometimes don't treat ourselves with the love that we know that we deserve. And and that goes on to my next topic. It's okay. It's okay if your self-love some days, like, you know, is not as consistent. It's okay if one day, like, you just are just, I don't know, like, you're not feeling it, you don't feel like getting out of bed, and you're just having a very, like, a day where you're just not feeling great, and you're just kind of, you know, and it's like, instead of beating up on yourself and being like, oh, why didn't you get up and make yourself some breakfast? And look, now, you know, you've wasted half the day and you know, you have all these things that you need to do. And like, now you feel so like lethargic and grumpy. And this is all your fault because you didn't get up and do the things that you needed to do to take care of yourself. No, absolutely not. It is so okay to have some of those days, because part of self-love is understanding that it's okay to make a mistake. And I think growing up, that was really hard for me to internalize. And through therapy, I've really come to terms with the fact that, hey, you're a human being and you're going to make mistakes. And guess what? That's okay. It is so okay. You're not, you know, this piece of trash that's unworthy of love because you couldn't, perform your best, and like, you know, now you deserve punishment because like you made a mistake. No, you are a human being worthy of love. And so with this topic that I guess I'm trying to get at here is a very important way of showing yourself that you love yourself is to be compassionate with yourself when you make mistakes, when you mess up. Kind of like how if you had a child, again, it's the same analogy that I'm trying to like, if you had a child and they made a mistake, in order to like help comfort that child and 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 walk them through it and help them navigate through it, you're not gonna like, or you shouldn't, in my opinion, be like, why did you do that? Like, can't believe you messed up. Like, and just yell at them and just like, like it's gonna make them scared and like, uh, feel very ashamed of making a mistake. Instead, what you would want to do, I think, in my opinion, with that child is be like, talk them through that mistake. Hey, bud, I know you messed up on this thing. Hey, it's okay. You're a human being. Human beings make mistakes. We'll try again and do better next time. We'll learn from this mistake and try again the next time and do little by little better and better each time. And it's okay if it takes you a million tries. It's okay for you to take the time you need to learn and really learn from this experience, and that way, the way you're talking to this small child that you have hypothetically is how you should be talking to yourself when you make a mistake, and in that way, instead of beating up on yourself, because you like, there's two ways you can go about it. Instead of talking to yourself like, oh, can't believe you messed up again, like, when are you gonna stop messing up, when are you gonna stop, just when are you gonna do better, like, come on, like, enough is enough already, da da da, like, or you can be like, okay, you messed up, and you know what, you're a human being, and human beings make mistakes, and you know what, we're gonna try again tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be better. And with that approach, I think, at least for me personally, I'm more likely to want to try again the next day because, I was kind to myself, I was compassionate with myself, I'm ready to try again. Versus if I'm so mean to myself, then I'm just kind of sitting there really sad and ashamed, and you know what, I don't want to try again, kind of thing, and I'm kind of paralyzed with this fear and shame. And that's not really productive or effective. So I think that's why it's so important, like, when you're compassionate with yourself when you make mistakes, you're showing yourself love in that very moment, and it just makes life a little bit easier to navigate. And so, last but not least, the final thing that I think is so important when it comes to self-love, and I still struggle with this so much, but I'm getting there, is accepting myself exactly as I am. Sometimes when I am feeling insecure, like about like a body image thing, or I'm beating myself up about not getting, for example, a better grade on something, or just something like, those are just examples. Something that like sometimes me and my therapist like talk about is in that moment when I'm feeling so insecure and down on myself, trying to like meditate this affirmation of like saying, I accept myself exactly the way I am. I love myself exactly the way that I am. How I am is completely acceptable. It's completely okay. And, I love who I am. And I think just, it helps to say those things. It's helpful to say those affirmations, but I think to me, I still struggle with very much internalizing it. But I think by doing these steps every single day of showing myself self-love, showing up for myself, um, doing the things that I need to do to take care of myself little by little, and also like being compassionate with myself when I make a mistake or when I mess up. Little by little, I'm like more so internalizing like I deserve this level of love because I am good just the way that I am. I accept myself just the way that I am. I am a flawed human being just like everybody else, and I'm working on it. But I do want to express one caveat, which is like where we have areas of improvement and growth to do. Like, put myself for an example. Like, if sometimes I express myself when I'm angry in a way that maybe isn't very respectful, that's something that I need to work on. But while I'm working on it, it's important for me to, in the same way, you know, still have that self-acceptance for myself, and like in the same token just be like, you know, I know I'm a flawed human being, I know I have areas for growth, and that is completely okay, and I'm working on them, and it's okay for me to, you know, take this time to work on them. It's okay for me to be compassionate with myself while I'm working on them, but you know, it is important for me to work on them. It's not okay to just be like, well, I am who I am and I'm not going to change, even if that means that, you know, sometimes I am mean to others. That's not okay. That's not what I'm saying at all. But while we do have these flaws, it's you know, important to still, you know, have the self-acceptance, because we can accept ourselves even when we have flaws. We can love ourselves even when we make mistakes. We do not have to be perfect to love ourselves, not at all. So if you have areas of improvement or growth to do, that is completely okay, but like you still need to accept yourself and love yourself. They are not mutually exclusive at all. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to like wrap up this video with. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope some of the things that like I was able to talk about in this video were able to resonate with you, or like help you maybe be more compassionate with yourself, or like know how what you deserve, and like know the love that you deserve and things like that. So if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button down below, and if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and join the family, where we continue to talk about these different things of like just like lifestyle and growing up, and like, you know, going through our trials and tribulations. So yeah, so thank you so much for staying for the entire video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.